Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is episode 1 of me reviving my friend Ross Norby's CR250 that I've had on hostage for way longer than I care to admit. So let's get right into it. This is my good buddy Ross's 2007 CR250. He's had it for a really long time and it shows. I mean, he rides this thing. He sure knows how to shred it, but the maintenance program is lacking a little bit, so he brought it to me to give it a second shot at life, and it was pretty well falling apart when I got it. The frame cradles were smashed in from rocks, and the subframe was broke. The wheels were bent, the brakes were gone, chain rollers were smoked. The thing really just needs a second shot here, and a little resurrection, you might say, so that's what we're about to be doing. So at this point, I got the frame tore down. Took it to my buddy Pete. He fixed the cradle, fixed the steering stops, and quite a few other things. Got it tip-top shape, so now we're getting ready to proceed with this, but just wanted to get you up to speed. We're getting everything ready for powder coat. We decided that it's probably just best to powder coat the frame since we had so many repairs to make. I'm not a huge fan of coating the nice aluminum frames, but in this case it makes sense. So we picked a black. It's got a light metallic red flake in it. So the frame and subframe have been blasted. I got a little touch up to do. The swing arm I'd recently done in black, but I wasn't happy with it. It was kind of a texture black, and we're switching it up. We're going to do a gloss. So now that the swing arm is chemical stripped, I'll get it in the blast cabinet and get everything touched up and ready for powder coat. But first I need to address my powder coat shop. It's in a bad way. I don't normally show this side of my powder coat shop, but you guys are going to see it firsthand. So here it is. Everything's just a mess. You know, I get off work. I only have a few hours to come down and get everybody's stuff powder coated or prepped or anything like that. So stuff just kind of gets left out because as soon as I'm done and the oven's rolling, you know, I usually head home. But anyways, the project I'm currently working on is a dust collection for my filtration system. So I'll show you that. So in my booth, I installed an auto purge system, and air fills this tank, and then it goes in these valves, and one at a time it'll blow the filters out from the inside. But the problem is, when it does that, it all falls on the floor. Then it dusts the shop out, makes a mess, and it's very hard to keep up with. So I've devised a hopper system. Basically, there's a hopper under the filters. There's 2 separate hoppers and a door. Stevens Welding in Glenburn actually built this for me, and I'm putting it in. I powder coated it last week. So this door folds up, and I got to work on some latches for it, but the hoppers are here. I put some buckets under it, and now when I blow the filters out, the dust will go into the buckets instead of all over the floor. This will allow me to keep up on my booth a little bit better than this. All right, we got a little progress made. Floor's looking a little bit better. The booth is working tremendously. So starting to get the floor kind of cleaned up, some stuff blown off. But what I'm doing now is I'm purging the filters, and then I'm sweeping and blowing, purging the filters, sweeping and blowing. So it's gonna be a time-consuming process. Got a lot of stuff to put away. There's dust on everything, dust on the oven, dust around the side, so we're gonna be busy today. All right, I've got everything cleaned off the floor over by the powder. I've taken out 2 loads of garbage, some scrap metal. Got some old bedliner stuff I gotta mix up and throw away. But it's getting better. Got all the powder off the floor that was here in boxes, put away. Starting to get clean over here. This was what I got out of the filters on the first round, which is probably about 60 pounds. And I still have the whole floor to clean up. Well, we made good progress. It's definitely coming along. Got the booth clean, the floor's clean, floor drain's cleaned out. Everything's off the floor over here. I've got a little disposal tip for you. When you sweep up all your powder, clean out your filters, just put them in the oven in boxes and bags and run them up until they harden. That'll keep you from getting in trouble when you're at the landfill. All that dust will kick up, and you could potentially plug radiators on equipment. Could be a lawsuit waiting to happen, so friendly tip. So here's what the powder looks like when it comes out. I probably didn't need to put it in so hot, but at least this way there won't be dust flying everywhere. All right, guys. I spent all day Sunday cleaning. I blew everything off, front to back, vacuumed off the top of the booth, the oven, shelves, put stuff away. It's clean in here. All the dust is picked up. I put new lights in, cleaned the lenses. Filtration's working good. So it's back to regular scheduled programming now. So it was getting a little dusty there. I took a pause and cleaned out my dust collector for my blast cabinet here. Get this finished up. Toss the frame and the subframe in, and we should be ready to start prepping. Alright, so just getting everything finished up here. Just had a little bit of touch up to do on the frame and subframe from sitting around for a while. I've had them blasted for a little while now, but do a little touch up. Got the swing arm done. We're gonna go from here right into the powder coat shop and get some hooks cleaned, figure out how we're gonna hang these, and we're gonna go straight into the oven for a pre-bake. All right, now that we got everything in the oven for the pre-bake, I'm gonna turn the temperature up. I like to run it up to about 410. I run it higher than what the powder cures at. This will allow it to outgas at a higher temperature and hopefully keep any outgassing away during the powder coat curing process. All right, I spared everybody the boring process of masking, but got all the holes plugged, all the tight areas masked off, engine mounts, shock, swing arm, linkage, engine, coil, and all the holes plugged. Another friendly masking tip, all these plugs, I take them out in between coats, so it gets very time consuming, but the reason I do that is because if you leave it in, powder will build up on this ridge and you'll actually have a raised ridge when you do it. So what I do is all my test cups for laser engraving, I'll just use them, so subframe, swing arm, frame, and then that way when I go to put them back in, it's a little bit easier. So this frame is gonna get 3 coats. We're gonna do an ink black base coat first, and then we're gonna flow that out, and I'm gonna put the black with the red flake in it on after, so I don't have to focus on trying to get the black in all the hard to get areas, because sometimes the flake will actually build up too heavy in those areas. For example, all these windows and anything that has a Faraday cage effect, then it's gonna get a clear coat. So let's get rolling. All right, I wanted to spare you guys the boring application process, but I've got the clear on now, and I've got the oven rolling. I'm getting ready to put it in, so let's see what happens. Well, the oven's finished up. Parts are hanging in the booth cooling. I got all the masking off, and yeah, we definitely picked a good color for this one. I don't want to keep you guys waiting. Check it out. Nice and black from a distance. Looks black. Get that thing in the sunlight. That's gonna look good. Can't wait to see this thing put together. Well, that's going to be the end of episode 1. I really appreciate you guys checking out the first episode. I know it took a little bit to get going, but I just had to get my powder coat shop straightened up and get this frame in color. And now I can get it on a stand and hopefully get this thing into a roller soon. I got some nice suspension bits coming and wheels are here. So we're going to be doing some vapor blasting, get bearings and linkages and swing arm, and get this thing on the ground. Thanks for checking it out. Keep rolling.